Hello, I'm Brian Weizenkamp, and this is episode 8 of the Silly Goose series. I am a first-time NPC Classic Physique men's competitor, just under 2 weeks out from show day, and today we are going to take you on a full day of eats, specifically on a higher day. I got a food bump a couple days ago. We want to maintain weight leading into the show. We're ready 2 weeks out early, so we're happy with the package that we have. Now it's just about holding on to it. So, going to walk you through what my breakfast, post-workout, and then meals 3, 4, and 5 look like today. This first breakfast is cream of rice, some nut butter, some whey, and some fruit. So, fruits are kind of swappable, nut butter flavor swappable, but walk you through what we've got here. This is the Elevate cream of rice peanut butter flavor, peanut butter cup flavor. Good, solid, nothing too crazy about it. For the whey, we have the Axe and Sledge farm-fed brown sugar cinnamon toaster pastry. Thank you to my wonderful parents for buying me that. That was awesome. And then what we've got here is Party Pump. It's a brand of nut butter, and what we're actually going to be using is their unlabeled jar, which was their test run for their new squeezable packets. So when I have frozen like this, I'll try and use the runny stuff. Kind of mixes better. I prefer more of a chunky consistency, but can't always get what you want. So that's that. And then we've got our frozen strawberries here. I like to cut mine up so they're a little bit easier to eat. And we've got our, I guess let's start from the beginning here. Cream of rice, cold, prepped before cardio. It is 7:33, so we've already done our cardio for the morning. Cold, I like it cold, nice and thick and congealed. And then we will get a silicone spatula spoon, and we will take the whey drip, whey goo, whatever you want to call it, and we will portion it out onto the cream of rice. So let's do this. Okay. And I'll take almost all of it and put it down first before the fruit, and then a little bit on top afterwards. Okay, there is that. Okay. All right. There is step number 1. And step number 2 is going to be to weigh out the nut butter for this meal. So like I said, this one's pretty runny. Not typically my normal go-to, but when it freezes, get mixes with that frozen strawberry, can't really beat that. So we are going to weigh that out. Okay. And you notice I'm not talking amounts here because everything is different for everyone. Everyone's coach has a plan for them. I follow what my coach has me on in terms of amounts. So you can kind of swirl that around. You can see here whey goo, peanut butter, and I don't even know if it's peanut butter, but it's cinnamon nut butter. And the whey goo mixes quite well. And then we will take our frozen strawberries and a little bit of flaky salt. Salt Bay. Flaky salt down first, so we get a nice even coating. Strawberries right in the pot. Oh, man down. Strawberry down. Okay, that is the next step. And then we will take the rest of the whey goo, which there's just a little bit left, and kind of drizzle that on top. And I like the frozen strawberries. Number 1, it's nice not having to always worry about fresh strawberries. The fresh strawberries are nice for when I'm eating them, not part of like a cream of rice and whey meal. But if I'm just having fruit and goo, I typically want the frozen stuff. Makes for a better consistency. You'll see me eat them in my meal 3 as well, the frozen strawberries. And then in meal 4, you'll see fresh strawberries to go on top of rice cakes. So a little bit of variety with everything. Got to make sure we get all that. And here is our finished product. Breakfast is served. Whey Bottom up, cream of rice, a little bit of Wagyu, my nut butter, frozen strawberries, and Wagyu on top. Flaky salt in there, can't forget. But that is the pre-workout meal. We will eat that now. It is about 7:36, so hope to train around 9:30, about 2 hours, and catch you for the post-workout. Okay, welcome to meal number 2. We have a Mexican chicken kind of salad bowl and some cream of rice on the side. So already got everything out. Iceberg lettuce. We've got our big tub of chicken. You can't see that. That is a little bit of smoked paprika and then some Kinder's taco seasoning. I believe it's their pollo asado seasoning. It might be their carne asada seasoning. I have no idea. I don't remember. And so that is all in this little bowl. I get my little iceberg lettuce and my chicken. And then for toppings, we've got our classic non-fat Greek yogurt, already in my little sauce cup. And then we've got some cilantro lime salsa from Sprouts. So that's in here as well. And then to top it off, trying something new is the fire roasted taco sauce. So gonna try up some items here that don't have any artificial sweeteners as we head into peak week and just kind of cut that stuff out. So that's the taco bowl. And then for the cream of rice, which is on the stove and will be cooling, is the Trained by JP, and that is the strawberry cream flavor. I gotta be honest, it's more of like a mashed potato consistency, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but is what it is, and it's good hot, so can't complain. Warm, rather. So I'm gonna sit down and eat. It is just after 11. We just got back from the gym, and we will catch you for meal number 3. That's the post-workout. All right, folks. We are back for meal number 3. What we've got here is Wagyu, nut butter, chia pudding, and strawberries. So the chia pudding, to start with, is just a couple drops of this stevia vanilla and water in a little Tupperware. The Wagyu and the nut butter are in the fridge. So this is it's kind of like a small layer of Wagyu at this point. And this is the ISO carrot cake from Muscle Sport mixed with the cashew almond blend Fit Butter. And we're gonna take that, so see that we got here. We will take the chia and scrape that fucker in. And that just kinda scooch-a-dooted. At this point, the chia pudding is like pretty thick. Doesn't need a ton of, it's not very runny. So you can see there, it makes a nice little chia pudding sort of vibe. And then we will hit it with a layer of flaky salt for the stir. And then we got our bag of frozen strawberries. Gonna pop these bad boys on. Let's double check the amount just to make sure. And bingo, bingo, bumbo. Okie doke. And that is that. Pretty easy, pretty simple. I am going to stir it up and stick it back in the freezer, and I will touch base with you in about 10 minutes once it's a little more frozen. All right, before we stick this back in the freezer, I wanted to show you what it looks like all stirred up. And so the idea here is that I absolutely despise when you get to the bottom of the bowl and there's still like goo and no strawberries. So everything to me needs to be perfectly mixed, and we will mix that fucker up and toss her in the freezer. So into the ice box it goes. And da-da-da-da. See you here shortly. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Here we go. Pulling it out. You can see it just gets, like I'm trying to hit the spoon Strawberry's not coming out. Just enough to where things are starting to, the Wagyu gets just a little bit more solidified. You can see here the Wagyu is just a little bit frozen. But let's sit down, have this. It is 1:43. Operation No Smush Meals Together is in full effect. I will see you for meal 4, which is more of like a snack than anything else. So I'll talk more about that then. All right, time for meal 4. Little bit of a snacky poo here. We've got chicken and a whole dill pickle cut up with some mustard, specifically the dill pickle mustard from Trader Joe's. And I lied, it's actually not a dill pickle. It's bread and butter spears with sugar-free, no sugar added. So it's seasoned with sucralose, which is the same thing I put in my coffee. So we're good on the artificial sweetener front there, covered in black pepper as always. And then we've got rice cakes with some honey and peanut butter. We've got the Fit Butter's chocolate peanut butter cup cashew almond blend. I lied. It's not peanut butter, but it's chocolate peanut butter cup flavored cashew almond blend, which is odd, but I don't know. It works. It's good. And then the strawberries cut up on top. So we've got a few extra strawberries on the side, and then strawberries on the rice cakes. Some of the rice cakes have peanut butter, some of them just have honey, some of them have both. Get a little smorgasbord, almost like a bodybuilding charcuterie. So we are going to sit down and eat this. I've got my son for the day, got my steps for the day, and time to edit this video. And I will edit most of this video, make dinner in a couple hours, and then put everything up together, and hopefully you will be seeing this tomorrow. If not, you'll see it later this week. Again, this is meal 4, Tuesday, July 29th, 3:40, so just about 2 hours after my last meal. I find that to be just about the perfect time. So enough yap, time to munch. All right, welcome back. This is dinner here. A little bit of a two-parter. We've got our steak and iceberg in our bowl. That will be topped with good old classic yellow mustard and some Chipotle Tabasco. I'm a little soft when it comes to heat, so the Chipotle is about all I can take. And then in our second part of the meal, we have rice cakes, banana, and some yogurt. Now to the yogurt, I have added the brown sugar stevia, which has a hint of molasses in it, which is stevia leaf extract with erythritol. I probably just butchered that, and that's okay. All I know is it's delicious, and it's one of the artificial sweeteners that we're trying to keep in, see if it helps with the gas. So I'm going to eat part 1. The yogurt's going to go in the freezer and chill. And while my mouth cools off from the mild hot sauce, I will then do the dish on the first one, probably sit and journal for a minute or two, and then get the dessert portion of part 2. So in conclusion, that wraps up our full day of eating 2 weeks out. Like I said, I got a food bump a few days ago, so we're about, 400-ish calories more than we were a week ago on a lower day. So this is good. I'm excited. Tomorrow morning we're going to go pose with Coach. Tonight we'll take check-in pics. Tomorrow morning we'll take check-in pics, and then go pose first thing tomorrow morning. Assess food from there and go from there. Feeling real good after these last couple days. Ready for show. Chill, relax. Everything is kind of falling into place. You know, the hay's in the barn. The hard cardio is done. We're not trying to lose any more weight. We're at the point where the package that we have, any smaller, and I start to look stringy, I start to look small. And I know this because I have tights that at the beginning of prep I filled out. They were quite nice. And now they're just a tad loose. It's like they're still skin tight, but they're not, my thighs aren't bursting out of the seams. So really excited to see what we can bring to stage in, 1 to 10 days, just about 10 days out. So with that, we are into the single digits. Thank you for tuning in to episode 8 of the Silly Goose Prep series. Not sure how many more of these we're going to have, but I appreciate your time. I appreciate you tuning in. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.